Hey everybody, welcome back. Hollywood Pizza here. And we've got some more tournament coverage for you today. We've got November 6th Slice of Standard event with some commentary from OhOneNine and MagicBrad37. You can find all the information to their content and deck list for this event in the description below, and I hope that you enjoy the video.
Let's see here. We're going over to on table 7. Let's take a look here. Looks like we've got Grixis up against Mono Blue. Let's see here. Am I reading this right?
Yeah, I think Mert Cam was running mono blue.
Yeah. Okay.
So who's your money on here?
I mean, it's I couldn't possibly say. I would say that Death and Taxes' hand. Okay, as he did find the third land, that's good. I was about to say it's a little bit greedy with the Atsushi in hand. But now that he found the third, I feel a little bit better about it. I hit the Wandering here, just try and resolve a permanent. It's going to get countered. It's okay. You have to beat through the attrition of counter spells eventually, right? There's no other way. There it is.
Yeah,
So
when you're playing against a mono blue deck, you really got to look at the cards in your hand and really think to yourself, what can I live without?
just go. You're gonna take your beats. It's okay.
Yeah, and just really throw them out. Looks like Mert is missing out on a couple land drops.
Yeah, which is, it's the opposite of what we saw from the prior game with Aspie, where it was just a flood, even with all of the scrying, just a flood of lands and a bunch of ineffective spell pierces late in the game. They really had no chance with their Impulse main.
Looks like may have missed a land, but maybe playing a land on the second main.
There we go. I was about to say, Impulse main is indicative of I'm in trouble.
Yes, yeah, very much so.
Now here's the interesting bit. Do you go Atsushi or you try and slam the Invoke?
I would go Atsushi at this point. Why not? Risk it for the biscuit.
Let's see here. So, because the Spell Pierce is non-creature. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, Mert could be holding a Fading Hope.
Definitely.
I mean, not so much anymore. Just kind of flicks it out there and says, I really don't want you to have that 4/4 flying trample banger. Not really my thing.
Yeah. Well, and now you're in the kind of peculiar position where it's
Invoke Despair here is just too likely to be eaten up by a Spell Pierce at this point in the game.
I think you just got to run out the Atsushi again, which is not ideal.
Death and Taxes could use the Maestro's Charm.
Yeah, I mean, you
could. Maestro's Charm does leave the 2 mana up for the counter.
Now, if you go Galvanic, I don't know the entire text on it. I imagine it's a copy spell. Would you be able to Galvanic and then Maestro's? Would you consider doing that? Galvanic and then Maestro twice?
But would there be a point in that? Would you just be effectively just kind of wasting one of your iterations at that point, knowing full well that if you just snapped off the charm, you have the available mana to pay the 2 for the make disappear or the Spell Pierce? Like, I don't think that would be. I think it would just kind of be a little bit of a waste of the card.
Yeah, the main phase Thirst here tells me he doesn't have Murktan. He or she, I should say, Murktan doesn't have maybe the cards they'd like. They have to be aware. They only know about Atsushi. Wow.
Oh, a second Thirst. Really looking for something. I would almost say telegraphing to their opponent that like they're kind of struggling. But then again, that Haughty Djinn reduces all those instants and sorceries by 1. So that lone blue mana is very likely a counter spell or some sort of protection for the Haughty Djinn, seeing as Mert has drawn 6 cards?
Okay.
Like just that past turn, and there's a terror.
Okay, so you can get a body out here. I was about to say,
at this point, I think it might not be a bad idea to double off that Maestro's Charm.
Do it. That's what I would do.
I mean, that might be what you do. That might be what I do. But is that going to be the smartest play?
Well, think about it this way. My argument for this is the fact that opponent only has like we talked about. The deck only runs something like 8 creatures, right? It's 4 Tolarians, 4 Haughty Djinns, and what other creatures does the deck have access to? Or other win conditions?
Delver of Secrets,
Delver, which is just many turns away.
Yeah, but electing only to take out, use the Mace Rose Charm on the Jank. Maybe I'm just misreading what Mace Rose Charm does. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe we are just misreading Mace Rose Charm. I saw you typing. Did you just look it up? Because
I had to look at the exact text. Don't look at no, don't just look at the beautiful players here. Don't look at me.
Yeah. So what exactly does that Mace Rose Charm do?
You know, it's funny you should ask that, Brad37. I was just looking it up myself, actually.
That's convenient. That's very convenient. Yes.
And it does have 3 really good options for you. The first one is you look at the top 5 cards of your library, put one in your hand, the rest in your graveyard. So this is the one that I was thinking you would hit first. The second one is a drain 3. They lose 3, gain 3. And the final one is the 5 damage to target creature or planeswalker. Now, obviously, Tolarian Terror. Obviously, Tolarian Terror has ward, so you couldn't hit that one. But what I was thinking is you go 5 at the Hadi Jin, and then you find an answer with the second one. Why? But copying it, because now you have that in hand. Why not?
Yeah.
So, and I double block here. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Goes for the double block.
I would have tried to, particularly because your opponent was tapped down. You're not going to have another chance to have them tapped down. Why not use the Galvanic?
Gonna clear the board here. Short of Mert having something to keep the Terror or the Jin alive. A slip out the back would not really be ideal here at all, unless you're going to use it on one of your opponent's creatures.
Yeah.
Really just to keep one of your creatures alive and take out one of theirs.
Yeah, this is a very interesting. Okay,
here's the show.
Okay,
can't pay the 2.
Can't pay the 2, but does he have a spell pierce?
Ooh,
or does he have any other?
Even a make disappear.
Spell pierce.
There it is, spell pierce.
Okay, well, you get a bunch of treasure from Atsushi. I assume he'll use the treasure effect, right?
So yeah, using the treasure effect here would actually be really good because Death and Taxes can double up one of those 2 Invoke Despair.
Beautiful. Oh my god, I'm in love with this.
So many cards.
I am so in love with this move.
So many cards, so much damage to your opponent.
And losing 10 life.
Ooh.
Excuse me, losing because he was sacrificed to 1.
The only thing that would make that just even more painful is if Death and Taxes were able to gain as much life as Mert just lost.
Right. Oh, another. So now this is the third of 4, right?
Yeah. So another Hadi Jin, another Terror, but Death still has another.
Play the land for turn.
And doing the math, we got 3 and 5 is 8.
Can he do it? Does he
have extra 2?
Does he have coverage for spell pierce?
5? He could. They can do this again. And pay the 2?
Can he pay the 2?
He can.
Is he one short?
Those treasures.
Oh, he has exactly enough.
He has exactly enough. This.
Oh my goodness.
I'm not going to say this is the end of the game.
Wait, but he can phase it out. Oh wait, no, but
even phasing it out, Mert loses.
Yeah. That's right.
Can't sack the creature. So effectively, Mert has to sack 2 creatures, 2 enchantments, 2 planeswalkers, or if can't do that, you're going to lose 12 life.
Yeah. Okay. There's 1, 2. So that's it. That's
Mert is going to lose 8 life total off of this.
Wow.
And lose both creatures.
That's 18. That's 18 damage off of 2 invokes. That
2 invokes.
Golly.
That was good.
You know what?
That was good.
the lady or fella who won recently with his Grixis deck might be onto something.
Yeah, that was a little dirty. I kind of feel like I should be taking notes.
Frantically taking notes as I stare at my pathetic MTGArena rank status right now. Like, maybe this.
Yeah, my solid gold 3 rating. Yeah. No offense to the gold players out there. No offense to the gold players out there.
Oh, you got out of bronze. I didn't know that, Brad.
Keep grinding. I am right behind you / there with you.
Yeah. So sideboard here is there's not, honestly, I think you stay the course.
Bring in as much kind of spot removal.
Yeah, I didn't see a lot.
as
I
you
didn't see a
can. I
lot
think
come
the
in.
Abrades in this matchup are effectively useless.
Effectively
March
useless.
of
Yeah,
Wretched Sorrow is not going to be, I don't think, is going to be a very efficient use of mana
sure.
here because the Terror is 5.
Right.
So you have to pump at least 6 into it and the Ward, which is going to be 8.
Yeah, we saw the duresses
To
come
get
in.
rid of for one spell to get rid of one Terror.
Right.
That's a big investment. The only thing that the March could really kind of hit reasonably would be a Delver of Secrets.
Right.
I mean, as much as you really want to gain the life, sinking, 7, 8 mana into one spell, only to have your opponent, just flick out Spell Pierce and be like, for one, I say no. Feels bad, man.
Feels bad. You let that resolve.
Did he just disappear it just out of spite?
Not out of spite. I mean, card selection is king. Card selection is king, and if you shut off card selection,
draw, the better.
Yeah. I will. Wow, and Op's not even to hit the Fable here. I am stunned. Okay.
Oh,
chose to go with Thirst
disappear on that Thirst, saying no more, you thirsty person.
Oh, there's the Jin. Okay, with the protection. Obviously, that 1 blue represents either Shore Up or Slip or Spell Pierce. So
1 blue up with a Haughty Jin represents like half of that deck. Like it represents, so it could be anything in that deck. There's so many spells in this mono blue deck, like Negate, that are 2 to cast, but because of the Jin, it's 1.
Right.
So that Haughty Jin and 1 or 2 blue mana up is very threatening. We're going to see a second Haughty Jin hit the board.
Right.
Both of them are going to go up and be 4/4s in the air. Death and Taxes needs to find something good here.
Yeah, and that the funny thing about Consider, a 1-cost cantrip spell, you normally just kind of, you're like, oh, whatever, it's used in Phoenix, it's a bunch of other, it's, a objectively worse Ponder, Brainstorm, whatever you want to call it. But with 2 Haughty Jins on the board, that represents 4 additional power, because not only does it go into the graveyard, but because it allows you to put something in the graveyard, he can swing for lethal now. If he sees an instant or sorcery on the top, just put it in the graveyard. Opponent's tapped out. Now you're swinging in for
there's the impulse. So those Jins are going to be 7/4s, which is 14 damage. 1 more spell. Well, I should say 1 more instant or sorcery.
That's how to do it.
Didn't have it. Oh, there it is. Just to
just insane.
Put the nail in the coffin there. I'm gonna swing in for 16 in the air. You can't do anything about it.
Yeah, that
mono blue deck is pretty much infamous for that exact reason. Right there is
kind of out of
getting
nowhere.
A Haughty Jin or 2 out on board, and then just half or more of your deck is 1 mana. And if you've got 5 mana up, you just start cycling through cards, cycling through spells, just casting whatever you can, and like doubling your power pretty quickly.
Yeah, and it comes out of nowhere. It actually reminds me a lot. Those of you in the chat here and elsewhere, it reminds me a lot of Is It Wizard Tribal in Historic, with all the access to being able to make a seemingly benign 0/3. Can very quickly have 9 power in 1 or 2 swings. That Is It Tribal, Is It Wizard Tribal deck is very similar in that the power just kind of comes out of nowhere. You're looking at it and you're like, okay, the Djinn is a 2/4, and suddenly it's got, like we saw, a pair of 2 of them with 7 power. I mean, that represents lethal.
Yeah. You and I have both played that Is It Wizard Tribal deck, and we both know the just very unassuming power that it can have.
Yeah.
So we're heading into game 3 here. We see Death and Taxes getting out a Harvester as soon as possible, wanting to put as much pressure on Mert. And coming in with the duress.
Really nice duress here. It's also information. And, I say this all the time. Information is king. Wow, make hits the disappear. Missing that land drop hurts a lot. You got to get rid of the Galvanic. That's the right move. Oh,
no.
no.
Not finding a third land against the deck that just wants to stop you from doing everything.
Yeah.
Not good. That's all I'm going to say. Well, there's the third land, Sokenzan. But at this point, Death and Taxes being pretty much behind.
Yeah,
it's funny as far as land drops go and availability to kind of do things when Mert can just make disappear and keep this board fully under control till they can drop their first Haughty Djinn.
Mm-hmm.
And there's the Delver
Shields
as
down.
well.
Shields down. Do you go? Yeah, I mean,
you go for the Djinn. Oh, you just do it both. Why not? Yeah, why? You know,
no.
Okay.
Get in for damage.
Come on. Choosing to exercise a little bit of control there.
Yeah, exactly. Because what if it doesn't flip? Who cares? Yeah, just like that. There you go.
Doesn't flip, but puts another card into Mert's hand, who's got 4 lands up, 5 up, but only 3 in hand. But one of those is a Tolarian Terror, which that Blood Tithe Harvester not going to be able to deal with, and a second Delver.
I mean, they went the creature heavy start here. Pay the 1. That's the right move. Or excuse me, pay the 2. Whatever it is. Yeah, pay the 2.
Take up
that is the correct move.
Death and Taxes entire turn.
That's it. It's okay though. I mean, 2/3/2 flyers is not good, but
no. But you just hope that they don't flip, and they don't. So now Mert is sitting there with a pair of 1/1s. The 75th terror of the match.
I sense a little bit of I sense a little bit of frustration coming from you. Maybe you've experienced this.
I am not sure what you're talking about.
Now the Maelstrom is 5 damage, and you could pay. Oh, it's 2. I forgot. Ward 2. Not Ward 1.
It's Ward 2. So the Maestro's Charm is not going to do any good here. The only, I guess, Maestro's Charm could kind of loot for some cards or whatever the heck it does, or drain a little bit of life. But I think they're going to try to hold it up to take out one of those Delvers if it flips. Which,
well, I was just about to say also Urtai right there. Had they flipped, he had the chance. He could have thought about it. Didn't have to, but it was an option to him to counter the activate ability.
Gonna take the 5. Do you flash in the Urtai?
Do it.
Take out one of those Delvers?
Yeah, I think so.
But you're going to give your opponent a card.
You can decline. You can decline.
You can say no and keep the creature there.
I think you do that. Oh, maybe it's not a May. Oh, choose up to 1. It's not a May.
It's up to 1.
It is.
So it is a May.
Choose up to 1. Okay. Just want to make sure. Back in the day, by the way, for those of you who are old like me who played Magic in the 90s, there were very few cards that would ever use the word May. Everything was always a symmetrical effect. It affected both of us, and you had no choice here.
2 lands and an Invoke Despair. An Invoke Despair would help here, but it only really gets rid of 1 Delver. It's going to draw you 2 cards, but it's going to put your opponent down to 4, which is a very precarious place to be.
Yeah. Those Delvers are going to start flying soon is what I'm worried about.
Yeah. Not making a bad choice here with the land. I think going with the Invoke, not even having the 5th land in play would be very risky, but land is the most common draw you're going to get.
Interesting. Only brought Urtai. I would have brought both, because you're going to lose if they start flying. You're not going to be able to do anything anyways.
Well, if they start flying, it's going to be bad.
Oh no! Another flood? Is this another example of a flood? We saw that earlier with Mono Blue.
Okay, so Invoke here is going to put Invoke here. Can he cast?
Doesn't have the quad black.
They can't. They're 1 black mana short.
Doesn't have the quad black. Gonna bring the team
Just
here.
Gonna go for it.
Do it. I love this.
Maestro's Charm now has the ability to do the 5 damage, pay the 2 ward. But they're thinking, gets in, drain the life.
Yeah.
Drain the life. He's gonna wait for his opponent's upkeep, or their opponent's upkeep. Sorry.
Very well done.
Okay. Death and Tax is going to take this. Grixis showing Mono Blue how to do.
This video is brought to you by MagicJank.com, the spiciest cards for your sauciest decks. Buy and sell Magic the Gathering products and gear today on MagicJank.com.
Yeah, so it looks like we are going to get going here. We are going to see a Grixis mid-range against this, is it Tempo deck, I believe.
Yeah. Oh, and shout out as well. Appreciate the raid there, the Nerdy Steve. Welcome everyone to Hollywood Pizza and the PizzaBox Slice of Standard tournament here. Like we've been saying, we're coming in, on the top 4. We've got 4 diverse decks. I mean, sheesh, one of these decks, I can't even begin to describe it. We were saying we really would need our own Michelle Tafoya on the sideline in order to get some. I'd love to see some insight.
To get some insight as to what was the driving force behind building this deck. But it's working. They're in the top 4.
And resoundingly so. So, yeah, looking forward to seeing what the top 4 pans out with. I don't necessarily have a favorite or a favored deck. I think all of them have performed very well. The Grixis mid-range deck up against mono blue, we saw it on game 1 win relatively, not, I wouldn't say with absolution, it was still a give and take. On turn 2 it lost, of course, very quickly, I believe as early as like turn 6, with a pair of Haughty Jins. And then on the backside, it looked like mono blue had drawn a little bit too flush with lands and wasn't able to get enough value to respond to the number of removal pieces that Grixis mid-range had. But the back and forth there was healthy, and I do think it represents the fact that even though we, like you said at the beginning, Brad, Esper represented 70% of those decks submitted to the tournament just a couple weeks ago.
Just under. Yeah.
Even though 70% were using effectively the same list for Esper control, as we've seen today in our little microcosm of about 107 deck lists, not always the case. I mean, it might have been a select thing. Maybe the meta is evolving just as recently as a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. So it looks like we're going here. The round has started, and we are going to see this Grixis deck against the Is It deck here.
Yeah.
So we're only a few turns in, seeing some counter spells flinging around like crazy, and a Fable of the Mirror Breaker on board for Death and Taxes. That cut down going to take care of the Cemetery Illuminator.
Yeah, and the Illuminator was a card that saw almost no play before Meat Hook was banned, and people kind of speculated if it would see more play. The real problem, of course, with the things that have toughness 3 or less is they were all kind of prone to removal.
And there goes an Illuminator.
There goes one out of the bin with the Corpse Appraiser.
Bloodtithe Harvester going to come out, and that Kiki Jiki is going to flip over next turn. Do you make copies of, if Kiki sticks around, do you make copies of the Corpse Appraiser or the Bloodtithe Harvester, just really as that kind of removal?
Well, what you could do, and depending on the cards in hand, is you can make a copy of the Bloodtithe to add an additional blood token. Then you can sacrifice it to do double the number of blood tokens, right? And it'll gain haste. You can kill the Haughty Djinn because its toughness, even though its power is ratcheting up, its toughness is not. As Wandering Mind finds an Infernal, which is pretty tempting here.
Or the
Gonna take the Maelstrom instead. That makes sense.
Yeah, the Maestro's Charm. Gonna just try to deal the 5 damage there.
Just going for it. I like it.
It's gonna get negated.
Okay.
Yeah, no attacks. There's no real good attacks there. There's no point in just trying to throw bodies across the board there when you know one of them is going to die and you're only going to get in for 3 damage. Your opponent's still going to be at 16 life. It's just not worth it.
Yeah, and what's funny is Wandering Mind was a card that saw a brief bit of play in Standard after Strixhaven came out, I believe. Is that right? And excuse me, not Strixhaven, but shortly after printing, it saw a bit of play in the kind of Is It combo duplication deck that was out there. But then it kind of went into relegation. It wasn't seeing much play at all. The fact that it only has 1 toughness, again,
it was just such an easy target for Meat Hook.
Yeah, Meat Hook was such a format warping card.
It really made aggressive decks way less effective. Although at the same time Meat Hook was in, we saw mono white and like Boros aggro really doing a lot of work.
Yeah, and I'm genuinely stunned that we haven't seen at least one as a second Haughty Jin comes down here. Now the Invoke
that is pretty close to threatening lethal, but Gotcha's got no response here to this Invoke Despair.
Being tapped down.
So gonna lose one of those Haughty Jins, gonna take 4 damage. Death is gonna grab 2 more cards, one of which being another Invoke Despair. And, can actually swing in here for a fair amount of damage, but choosing to keep the Wandering Mind back really just for blocking, which is not a bad idea, seeing as we both know those Haughty Jins can the power can get ratcheted up on those Haughty Jins so fast.
Ooh, and this could literally be it.
Gotcha could spell the end of game 1.
Could literally be it. Yeah, if they're 2 instants or sorceries, unless it's a counter spell, right? Because there's no targets. This could be it.
Yeah.
Even if it's a shore up and a slip, you just cast them.
Even a thirst for discovery, you can pitch a couple of non-land cards or instant or sorceries, which this deck is full of, and have just Xaxes to finish off your opponent.
Gotcha. Right now is thinking about the fact that Death and Taxes has both blue, black, and black, red represented. So he's like, does he have it?
Really having to think about this. Do you have it?
Mm-hmm.
Because if the mana is spent by Gotcha, and their spell is countered, that leaves them wide open to very potentially die next turn.
Yeah, it's definitely what he's. Okay, well, opts for 8.
Goes to play it safe.
Oh,
another Haughty Jin.
Another
one. But this Invoke Despair can just win the game.
So
right? No? Are we? No.
He's gonna get him down to. He'll lose 2. No, he'll lose 4. No, that should be it. Yeah, no, that's it.
Yeah, lose 4, in for 6.
Oh, okay.
But they're gonna double up anyways.
Oh, you gonna get cute with it? Don't get cute.
Gonna get cute.
Don't get cute. Go for it.
Don't get cute, but at the same time, your opponent is completely tapped out.
Yeah.
So get as cute as you want to be.
I was going to say last game though. Last turn, him hitting the second Haunted Ridge was significant because if you recall, he did have to tap the Sulfur for black mana because it's quad black. Yeah. And he did actually take 1 damage off of it. You need to be very careful right here that you don't burn yourself out. You're at 2 life. You might want to take a look at how you might want to look at how you're going to tap these lands. He does have 2 timeouts. Take your time here. Opponent's tapped down. It's a mono blue player. They spend all day long wasting other people's time with counter spells.
They can wait for someone else for
let them waste their time. And see that? Look at that. If he didn't have the second Haunted Ridge, it's a wrap. Does he have it? You've got it. No, you've got it right there. There you go. Take the 1, colorless.
There you go. There
you go.
The sulfur for the colorless.
Do not hit the auto tapper. Okay.
Yeah.
Auto tapper won't kill you there. There you
go. That's going to be 12.
All right.
Well, it's going to be 12 damage. So, you can slow down 4 of it, but
had he not drawn the Haunted Ridge there, you saw he was at 1 life, tapping the land for color source from either the sulfur or the blue red dual land would have denied him the ability to
would have been death.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to, I want to say as he goes to sideboarding here, I'm looking forward to red white receiving the Boros lands receiving their dual land, their pain land, because I think one of maybe the solutions to this Esper heavy mid-range state that Modern is in right now is more true aggro. I mean, mono red has been somewhat neutered. We lost the activated lands because Bugbear, once you were empty-handed, did give you an option to at least continue to pressure your opponent. Yeah. And with Gruul, Werewolf Tribal has kind of fallen off as well. So we'll see. Yeah. Hopefully Boros will fill in that slot and make it more competitive for those aggro fans.
Yeah, let's hope so. So I know Boros aggro. I would say a few months ago. It got me into Mythic.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it was a very, very strong, fast, explosive deck.
Yeah. And then, Meat Hook came, Meat Hook, and yeah, it's so funny how one card can warp the form. I think we're in a very heavy transitionary phase right
I
now.
think so.
Yeah, I think things are not going to look like this even a month from now.
No, although I do think that Esper might be in a incredibly strong position going forward with Brothers War, especially with the spoiler of the new Teferi coming out.
Sure.
The Planeswalker everyone loves to hate and hates to love. Just being able to put those loyalty counters on it every time you draw a card, couple that with Rafane, and you've got a Planeswalker that is super high on loyalty. Throw in Sholdred, and you've got some big creatures, lots of card draw, lots of life, and a Planeswalker that can do a one-sided board wipe effectively.
Yeah.
That's a mean combination of cards.
Yeah, it is. As we move into game 2 here with Death and Taxes up 1 against Gotcha, piloting Grixis mid-range. They shipped the first hand. It did have a pair of Sulfur lands with only Blood Tithe to play. Opted to mulligan to 6 and kept a 5-lander, shipping a land. Ended up being the right choice because since then they've drawn a very good parity of both lands and non-lands. Opting not to play the Blood Tithe or the Wandering Mind here is a little bit interesting, but okay.
They know that this Izzet deck is just chock full of no's.
Yeah, and I wonder, I was wondering. I just saw there that it looked like our opponent was for those of you who play MTG Online. Look, they were F6. They might have been passing the turn outright. Because I didn't see a delay at all from Gotcha. Did you notice that, by the way?
I did not.
There was no pause, as if they may have had even an opportunity to interact. I don't know.
Maybe their finger is just that fast at clicking.
Yeah. I'm not sure if you've ever done this. You never know. I'm not sure if you've ever done this, but of course the tactic of holding full control and putting arbitrary stops to try and kind of trick your opponent into thinking you may have a response at certain stages of the game is completely fair gamesmanship. And you can do the opposite too. Even if you do have an answer, if you do a pass control, shift plus enter, I think it is the default command in Arena, it could do the same thing. You could say,
it will blow through your turn and make your opponent think you have nothing.
That's right.
I have definitely run aggressive decks, been a little behind, and put stops everywhere I can to make my opponent think. It's a strategy, and part of, even though it's through a computer screen, just like we're seeing here now, part of the game is playing against the player, not necessarily just the cards. That's making them pause to think, what does my opponent have? What could they have that could interact, could remove, could stop me from doing this?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. As we see, so we've got dueling fables here. Wow.
So Invoke Despair would take care of one of those fables, probably the token, I would think, maybe the token. I mean, Gotcha does have 6 lands and wouldn't necessarily need the treasure token.
Sure. I think, and I would have been a little bit more leaning towards the Invoke, because like you said, it would not only would it knock out a creature, but it would knock out one of the 2 fables that are about to spit out some more tokens. But you know what? This might have been the correct line here.
Ooh, can grab a 3rd Invoke and just slam down Invoke after Invoke after Invoke, should the mood strike you.
Yeah, and I think that's probably the right move, because now you can attack next turn. You can attack next turn, get another treasure, and then you'll have Make Disappear to at least kind of cover. It doesn't really help you that much, but
as much as we would love to see just a handful of Invokes and just despair after despair after despair, it would seem that they are much smarter Magic players than maybe you and I would be.
Yeah, despair after despair after despair. It sounds like my marriage with my ex-wife.
Oh, there we go. Are you okay? Are you okay?
I'm doing fine. It's the holidays. It gets tough. I'll be fine.
I'll call you after. I'll call you after.
Thank you.
So we're going to see the Consider come out here. cycling
She was a
away
mono blue
that
player too.
impulse.
Just saying.
Hottie Jin coming out, only 2 power on it though, but gets it over top of the cut down. But that cut down is going to be able to take out that, or will at least target the
yeah. And
Kiki.
now you got to decide: do you want to? You can see you can still get in. This is probably the right line
with the make disappear in hand, and Gotcha knowing full well, because you can see that little red eye like it's been up all night. Gotcha knows that counter is there, and I can't play a counter and stop that make despair. So I kind of have to let this happen.
Mm-hmm. Does he have the protection? Has the make disappear? Very well, very well. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna ship it.
Hottie Jin is going to go up to 3. Kiki number 2 is going to hit the board.
A basic land here is not terrible, because what you could do, depending on if Gotcha not just taps down, but taps down most of his lands here, what you could do is begin by attacking to get that extra treasure out, and then you can kind of quote unquote protect the invoke with that make disappear. It just depends on how many lands he wants to commit to this.
But like we were saying though, Gotcha has, I mean, Death has to be very, very, very aware that Gotcha has 7 creatures in the main deck, albeit this is game 2, so there could be more. But we were also looking at, what was it, 21 pieces of interaction? Sure. 21. So even having 2 cards in hand with, 6 mana available, that's scary.
Right.
Oh, and Lear is going to hit the board. Luckily, there's not much in the bin for Lear to really get her dirty, grubby paws on.
Well, and it seems a little bit counterintuitive to some people. This is kind of like folks who run Rakdos discard, right? And the trouble is that, if you have like a Croxa, but then you also have your own bit of graveyard hate, you're kind of damaging yourself. So with each card that you play with Lier, you are losing power on the Hottie. If it goes to exile,
firing off the invoke just completely.
We
both thought that they would have attacked with the token, got the treasure, so that they could pay the 2 to make sure that this invoke goes through.
Aren't you just walking into a spell pierce here?
Maybe that was a bit of an oops.
I gotta think you attack first. You attack first to have the 2 blue.
Or
didn't have it.
Lear can only cast it at sorcery speed. Is that? I don't play with Lear because screw that.
No.
Because I want to have fun and I want my opponent to have fun.
We're missing the point here. Lier, it is a symmetrical effect. It says spells cannot be countered.
Yes, spells cannot be countered. Yes,
I forgot. It's not that it's not a Teferi type thing.
Yeah, spells cannot be countered.
Got it. We're picking up here. 2 old fogies figuring it out.
Well, we've been around the block a couple times, and the memory's not as good as it maybe used to be, but we're trying.
It's almost supper time, and then I can tuck in for a glass of warm milk and some Matlock.
Yeah. Gonna make a copy of Wandering Mind to what do you take?
We were saying earlier, and I think someone had nodded that in chat. They said they were acknowledging our quote about don't get too cute, but being cute ended up working out for him. Maybe you do grab a Galvanic.
The iteration?
Galvanic represents 5 damage to 2 creatures, right? You can copy the Maelstrom.
Charm, and spells can't be countered thanks to Lear.
Knock them both out.
Cute it up.
Cute it up.
Get those eyelashes going. Curl the hair. Get your nails did.
That's right. Treat yourself.
Get cute.
Yeah.
Your opponent effectively, because of their card, can't stop you.
Now, what you could do, this is where cute beats cute. What you could do is have a Fading Hope targeting your own Lier, and then you Fading Hope your Lier, and then you do counter and they've kind of left themselves, for lack of a better phrase, ass out because they assume that you're not going to be able to counter anything.
Yeah,
I've seen that bit of tech when Lier came out. I'm sure you remember that period in Standard when there was both the Esper and the Demir Lier decks that were everywhere. It's a pretty miserable time in Standard, gotta admit.
Oh yeah, just Lier and Hullbreaker.
Oh god.
That was the couple creatures that you ran.
Yeah.
You ran 4 Leers and like 2 Hullbreakers and about 47 counter spells.
Now that sounds just the way
I remember the days.
just the way Garfield had it, drew it all up.
Yeah.
So
okay, so are we going to see Galvanic Iteration come out? I mean,
yeah, he's got the mana for it. I was about to say he doesn't have double blue, but he does on the Xanders. I say you knock out the 2 Hadijins. He's down. If you knock out those 2 Hadijins, he's at the point now where there's only, I think, 1 or 2 more creatures in the deck.
So they're going to duress first to see if the coast is clear of the counter spell, which it wouldn't matter, or that Fading Hope. Gets rid of the only card in hand. So I think we might see the cuteness come in here and really help Death to triumph over blue here for a bit, anyways.
And he had 1 more land than I had thought. I thought I had miscounted and thought he might have to
5 damage to something. Gonna double it up. 5 damage to target creature or planeswalker. Luckily for Gotcha, it's not to face.
Right, that's a good point. that would make Maestro's Charm a lot better.
Yeah, just slightly better. So
you gotta
knock out. Copy it.
You gotta knock out the 2 Hadijins, right?
Jin.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, and then we're kind of entering top deck mode, so to speak, even though he does have the impulses and other to dig. The good news is that Hadijin, despite being a very good, bordering on broken card, is it doesn't have the Tarmogoyf effect where it also affects the toughness. It's just the power.
Yeah, just the power.
Yeah.
Yeah, we luckily with Arena, you get to see that power digitally tick up. If this were a tabletop, you would also almost need a hottie graph.
Oh my god! Have you been banking that all day?
On it.
Have you been sitting on that joke all day,
writing this stuff down?
You've been pocketing that joke all day, haven't you?
I have. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a dad, and that really just it's right inside my wheelhouse. A hottie graph. Yeah, if you didn't laugh at that.
Oh, God. As we see the Cemetery Illuminator come out from Gotcha there to steal the Galvanic, we'll not be able to use Galvanic again for double the cuteness, as we've been referring to it. Gotcha doesn't know, though, that no cuteness in the near future from Death and Taxes is a handful of counter spells, where in this kind of portion of the game, not as good. Obviously, Infernal is good there. Do you clear a path and try and get it for 2? I don't think so.
No, I don't think it's a play it right now, but Death clearly disagrees with us.
Yeah, I don't know. He doesn't know about the negate, so maybe he's trying to counter. I mean, it does represent an unblockable threat.
But there's the counter spells in Death's hand are completely, totally, and utterly useless because Lear says spells cannot be countered.
Right, unless those 2 unknown cards, one of them is a Fading Hope, right?
Which would be super cute to see on the other side of the board. But with that timer ticking down, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think it would. Okay, just gonna let that go.
So it's gonna go to exile. Oh, Death is saying, you know what? I'm up a game. Let's just push.
Yeah, and so I think I haven't kept count, but I do believe Gotcha has certainly lost at least 2. I think he's lost 3 of his Djinns, in which case he doesn't really have. Oh no! And he pulled it off the top.
That's gonna hurt.
Oh no!
That's gonna put Gotcha down to 4.
And he has the negate to cover it too.
But I have not seen this interaction yet. Okay, so the sack on Lear.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about.
Counters the sack on Lear makes makes the make disappear able to actually be played now because Lear is no longer on the board and stuff can be countered.
Correct. That is correct. So he chose to sacrifice it.
Does Death try to count? No. Doesn't, just lets it resolve, but is now holding a couple of counter spells in hand, but one of them being Make Disappear, and at this point, Make Disappear is not really going to be ultra effective against anything that Gotcha is going to want to put on board.
Otawara here is amazing because, as I'm sure everyone is aware, as his own Otawara comes out, Otawara is amazing, I was about to say, because it is uncounterable, being a channel effect. However...
Urtai ability.
Urtai
can do it. But I mean, you have to have. I mean, Gotcha doesn't have Urtai in the deck.
Right. Correct.
There would be no countering a spell like that. But Death and Taxes being Grixis.
Mm-hmm. This is another incredibly close match. Death and Taxes has been in nothing but close matches all afternoon.
Yeah, seems like a real grind fest, but also makes for good content.
And that's what we're here for. Brad, do you use this opportunity? Make Disappear is getting worse and worse by the minute. Okay, so I was going to say one option
is a nice little play right there.
I was going to say, or do you use the other option is that you use the blood token to cycle away Make Disappear and try and find a different answer?
I would think so, because at this point, Make Disappear is not going to be very effective.
No, nearly irrelevant at this point.
Yeah, and we're going to see the cycling of the land.
Sure.
To draw another land, which hurts.
Yeah.
Which always hurts.
To use the negate. Does he know he has the negate? There you go. Now does the activation.
Cycling of the land that they drew off the cycling of the land.
Duress is cute.
Duress. I mean, Duress at this point, when you're playing against an is it spells deck, is not terrible.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the other thing is, like I was saying earlier, is like information is really going to be key here to know what
it's going to be huge, especially at this point in the game when both players are so low on life. They each have just a few cards in hand.
Okay.
So
Galvanic, do you hit the double duress?
Double duress?
Your opponent's full of counters. Is it worth it? So what he's doing, I think, here is holding the duress.
They're both just gonna refill their hands and say, let's do this again.
Let's reset. Yeah, effectively. Ooh.
Haughty Jin. You could even almost surprised that there was a no grasp on that one, but gonna get cute. Gonna get cute with the double duress.
Yeah, the double duress.
To see if that door is open for the Infernal Grasp to come through.
I like this a lot. That, I think, represents the last Djinn in the deck, doesn't it?
I think so, if my math is correct. Which I am not very good at math, hence why gold 4 is my standard.
Pay the 2, and then he may follow it up with a negate. In which case,
the duress is spilled on its jaw.
Okay. Well, you're going to 2 life. However, what a close game this is.
This is a very, very close game.
I'm trying to think what other. I mean, I don't know if he has a win condition left. Does he?
All the Djinns, Lear.
He has one more Cemetery Illuminator.
We've seen at least one die.
Yeah, we've also seen at least one Fable. So Fable is, I mean, if you're 2 health, that is. I
think we've seen 2 Fables because.
And there's another one.
Didn't Gotcha have 2 Fables on board at the same time? Or was that
yes,
the last game?
That is correct. Yeah.
So here's another Fable.
Oh my gosh. Jeez.
And another Fable. Okay.
Game that
so
never
they're
ends.
both going to be able to throw cards away that are going to be useless here to hopefully cycle into something not useless.
Well, I mean, he's got Galvanic in the graveyard, just primed and ready. If he can pull another Invoke, I'm not sure how many are left. We've already seen him attempt to resolve 2. I think both were countered, if I recall.
Yes, I think maybe. We've got, so here's Thirst from Gotcha. Gonna get a few cards here, which is nice.
Ditch a land if there are any lands left.
Yeah,
it has to be a basic.
Oh, there we go. There's the basic land.
Yep.
So now Gotcha's got 3 cards in hand. Death and Taxes has a Shipwreck Marsh and a counter that at this point in time is almost a dead card.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, if he has anything like a Fading Hope, or it's just it's a win on the spot. He can't know exactly what he has in hand. That Shipwreck represents anything as far as Gotcha is concerned.
Yeah.
This is the right move. Attack in, represent lethal.
They're gonna go head to head.
Oh my gosh, this game. This game. Okay.
And, getting a land, but we'll see Death pitch both of those lands.
Oh my god.
Make disappear and another land. Luckily, that Kiki does not have haste.
Yeah.
So Kiki cannot swing in for the win, and Death is going to be able to flip their own Kiki before Gotcha can swing in.
Yeah, and this is the last threat I think they have available here. The only other thing that may have been sideboarded out was the Elder Dragon War. I do see a one of for Gotcha.
There was one of in the main that there's Sokenzen.
Okay.
Sokenzen kind of coming in at the right time here, even just to block.
Yeah.
And since we talked about that, those channel lands earlier, that is an activated ability. So really, Gotcha is probably not going to be able to counter that.
Sure. And the timer approaching here, even if Gotcha does win this match, they need to be very careful with the timer.
Corpse Appraiser. Rifling through the graveyard as quick as can be. How
Gotcha
many counters do you have left in your deck?
Yeah. Showing in the top left there, with all the decision making that goes on with this Is It deck and not having a lot of ways to actually win the game, now that all 4 copies of Djinn are gone, gonna pay the 2. That's an easy pay.
Yeah. Ooh, it sticks.
And let's get a little look there. I might have seen he looked very quickly, but I may have seen a second. I may have seen the other Cemetery Illuminator. I wasn't sure if both were in the bin as well.
So here could try to land the second copy, which seemed to be the coast was clear. Get rid of another creature, looking at 2 lands and a make disappear. Just take the counter spell on principle. You have more than enough lands.
Right.
Not sending anything in.
Yeah, could have made a copy of the 3
on Gotcha's end step. Make a copy of a Corpse Appraiser, which is not going to disappear until your end step. Right. Beginning of your turn, make a copy of the other Corpse Appraiser.
And there it is.
There you go. Death and Taxes taking down just a barn burner of a game.
Wow.
Looking for the latest comic book to add to your collection? How about the last card for that Magic the Gathering Commander deck? Well, the comic book store's got you covered. Shop online at comicbookstore.tcgplayerpro.com or come in person at 30 North Main Street, Glassboro, New Jersey. Pizza people, are you enjoying the content? Don't forget, subscribe to the channel. It's free. Hit that bell icon as well. That way, anytime any of our new content comes out, you're able to see it right away. Hey, leave a comment down below as well. Tell us what you're going to play in the next event, or tell us what you're enjoying about the video. Don't forget, check out the description too. We've got tons of great content down below, and on top of that, we're going to have our tournament schedule too. So get in on it. Hope to see you.
Okay, and we're gonna be seeing again from Death and Taxes perspective, a 6-lander. Got to ship that one.
Yeah.
Even with the Otawara and the Sokins on, can't keep it. Also, Galvanic is worthless without something else to use it. Has another. Going to keep on 5 here. That's the right choice. This is nearly identical to what happened round 1, game 1. Round 1 last time.
Yeah.
Going to lead. Has the Plaza already. Now, it's going to walk into a couple of counter spells here. A couple make disappears. If I'm Grixis midrange, what in the world do you even think with this? Like, what?
Well, seeing Catilda come out on turn 1 in the finals of this over 100-person tournament, followed up by Old Rutstein, you got to be sitting there going, "What is going on here?" Like,
yeah.
are these cards good now? Do I just not? am I missing out on some secret meta that I just don't know about?
So now the decision is, do you go Fable or do you go cut down and hold to make disappears? The decision that Death and Taxes has to make right now. And I can't tell you which is the correct one. Yeah, the thing with Catilda is it does give you insane ramp. So that's probably the correct decision here. We'll see if Murloc walks into a counterspell here or if they're going to play something low. Yeah, unfortunately, just didn't miss the land drop. Kind of walked into that one. Or they're slow rolling it here, and they go land into... Oh, had they just played the land... they could pay
the land beforehand, they could have saved it.
Is that a mistake? Is that a mistake, or they try and throw them off here? Well, the next attack is going to open up Invoke, which is going to be another... dicey situation.
That's
AO is really good now because
some value here for sure for this 5-color pile.
And if he attacks
even with the Invoke Despair, that's still likely going to generate a fair amount of value for Noble.
Oh my!
Gets a second Invoke. Well, but if Noble hits a couple of creatures off of the top of the library that they can get out.
Right.
Then that Invoke is going to become much less effective.
It goes on the battlefield. So, I mean, you could go like Thalia plus Shieldred.
Oh, Shieldred. If Noble can land another creature, that Shieldred can be protected.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, there's old Rutstein. Making another creature that will get just sacked to that Invoke Despair. Death and Taxes has got to just be wondering, okay, what can I do? Bosiju coming out and taking care of the Fable.
What is going on?
Welcome to my court.
Welcome to the dojo, he just said.
Yeah, this has taken a turn. Another land off the top.
Oh,
do you even bother with the Invoke Despair at this point?
He's digging. Finding an answer here. That's not going to do it.
Another land. That's not going to be good. But Otawara can put Shieldred away for a turn?
Is it possible that he's found a way to break the shuffler? That's the only explanation I have for this pile of 30 creatures, 30 lands. You can't be serious, Wizards.
Oh, here we go. So, going to use that treasure. Snap off Invoke? Nope.
Didn't even fall for it. Oh, and because of the old Rutstein is the cornerstone of this because of how powerful Invoke Despair is, and because you're guaranteed to hit a creature every time if you're
you'll never hit a non. Hey, Noble's over here in the year 3000 while we're still back in 1990 late.
We're just banging rocks together. This guy, he's living in the future. Yeah. Okay, gonna have to use the Otawara to blink the Shieldred just to stay alive. To stay alive.
But Plaza of Heroes is gonna say, you know what? No.
Oh my god.
You're gonna go down to 2 life.
This is unbelievable.
Wow, this 5-color pile.
This is unbelievable. What do you even do for this? What do you even sideboard in?
Stay where you are, OhOneNine. I have the technology to jump over and see what is going on this other on the other side of this field here.
Oh, that's right. So that's the other thing. So the sideboard, even though it's 30 creatures, 30 lands, the sideboard is only a couple of creatures and a lot of interaction.
Yeah,
So,
a lot of interaction. So
I would love to see what they choose to bring in against.
I will give you the lowdown. We're gonna see Toxie come in so far.
Okay. I like that.
That's it. So far, yeah. Just
what did he drop?
Toxie.
What did he drop?
Took out Lubick.
Okay, so he only, quote unquote, only has 3 copies of Ludovic.
Yeah, 1 Ludovic came out. Toxie comes in. Rutstein staying the same. Oh, Catilda, 1 copy of Catilda coming out for an Outland Liberator.
Oh my goodness. I cannot believe this.
Brought in an AO, taking out a Rutstein. That's it.
Okay, well, here we go. Game 2.
Outland Liberator, and whatever the other one I said was.
Oh, no! And Death and Taxes has to go down to at least 5 now. Oh, stuck on lands.
I am coming back.
Okay.
I am coming back. I'm here.
Okay.
I wish we could have both of these hands at the same time, because I will tell you this much. There are a lot of lands in Noble's hand.
Oh my goodness.
There are so many lands in Noble's hand.
Well, unfortunately, Death and Taxes has to go down to 5. He will be able to go Blood Tithe turn 2, which is always a great hit.
So it looks like Noble is not going to be in such a bad spot. Not too bad. Not really going to have a play till turn 3, though. Okay, because I am overwatching Noble right now, so we can get both sides of this equation.
Sure. Okay, tap down, found the Invoke. Do you even bother with Invoke? I don't think you do. Yeah, Fabled is the right choice there.
So we're going to see the land come out.
Do we get a Rutstein?
We are going to see, trying to decide between, oh, here comes, looks like Rafane is going to be the choice.
Okay. Death and Taxes fortuitously draws an Atsushi, but you have the choice here of either going with Atsushi or the Fable. Both good options. Obviously, is aware of the Fable, so
yeah.
Atsushi is probably the right choice here. Is going to somehow outvalue.
I'm back over with you now.
Okay.
I don't like being alone.
Okay.
I'm scared of being alone, but I have commitment issues at the same time.
Oh wow,
so complicated.
That's quite the conundrum.
I know it's weird, right? But I blame my father.
Okay.
Way to bring everything to a screeching halt, Brad.
That's later.
The magic I provide.
Thank you. We do appreciate that. As the Slogurk hits the board there.
Slogurk is going to hit the board here. Yeah. So the Atsushi is going to be able to kind of take out Rafane.
Mm-hmm.
But if Rafane swings, then it can end up being too big for Atsushi to take care of. But it's going to leave Noble wide open for a pretty good smack in the face. So do you take the 4 and try to take out the Wandering Mind here?
Yeah, and I was actually surprised that last turn he chose not to block the Wandering Mind. Took 2 damage. I don't think he needed to. I don't know what he.
But we're going to see that Harvester probably cracked now, paying the ward, getting rid of Rafane.
Is that worth it though? I mean, that's a 2 for 1.
Rafane off the board.
That's a 2.
Not terrible.
It's not terrible. It's true.
Not terrible. Rafane is as we've said, Rafane is a very, very good card. And
here's the engine.
Here's Rutstein.
Yeah, that's the card that we knew was the engine here, as we saw last game.
But nothing in the air to stop Atsushi from just
true.
Just for lack of better words, going full ham and smashing in for 4 every single turn. I mean, it puts Noble on a 3-turn clock.
Right. Yep. Does have an owl of his own. You said that he brought in a Tox roll. Oh, and a second owl. So AO owl, excuse me, however you say that.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. We got a
Well, there's
blocker.
another Refane that'll kind of stop the damage from coming through.
Slogurk.
And going in with Slogurk,
I would.
Ooh, gonna push in for 3, knowing full well it's only creatures. I'm doing nothing but getting counters on my stuff.
That's right. Oh, I love this. I absolutely love this.
Oh, it's gonna go on Rutstein.
Yeah, keep Rutstein alive. I like this.
Rutstein is going to be making those token blockers every single turn.
Gosh, this is the tech. This is the tech. Oh,
and the land goes in there. Slogurk gets the counter.
This is brilliant
for 7.
This is absolutely brilliant. I can't believe this is the craziest 5-color tech I've ever seen.
Liberator gonna come out, can take care of one of those Kiki Jikis. Not yet, though. Not yet. Doesn't have the land to pay for it.
Not yet. That's right. Gonna ditch the land, try and find. The thing is this. Okay, that's good.
Okay.
And that's better. Okay.
Grasp can at least take out Rutstein or Refane.
Yeah.
But when you're playing against a deck like this, that you're I would almost say confused by what the hell your opponent is even doing.
Right.
What is your target?
Well, and he has 4.
You see Rutstein doing all that work. You know, right. Refane is a powerful card.
Sure.
You're also looking at a 4/4 trample that can, just go over top of your 2/2s.
Right.
What's the choice?
Yeah, well, and the other thing that makes it even more difficult is you might think to yourself, in a weird, because there's plenty of like weird combo decks out there that may run 1 or 2 or maybe 3 Rutsteins. If you look at the card list, every single one of these legendary creatures, Slogurk, Refine, Old Rutstein, it's a 4 of. Right down the row. Every single one of them is a 4 of. Yeah. He could have another one in his hand.
Yeah, just the max amount that I can put in there, that's what I'm doing. This is, I would definitely say, this 5-color pile, after today, get ready to see this on the ladder a lot.
Yeah.
This is an unexpected deck.
Yeah, okay, and I think Refine is the right choice.
Incredibly unexpected deck.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull some strings with the folks here at Hollywood Pizza to make sure this video doesn't go up onto YouTube anytime soon, because I want it all to myself.
Have them delay it so that we can kind of, showcase this deck a little bit ourselves before everyone starts playing with it.
That's right. And I'm going to lie and say I came up with it.
I will back you up on that. I am willing to do that for you. This was your idea.
Look at this incredible tech I came up with, folks.
Yeah, and even that corpse appraiser looking into that graveyard, like, what mishmash is this? But game 1, Noble just smashed the hell out of Death and Taxes.
Yeah, and I think Atsushi, unfortunately, may be the difference maker. Oh! Are you kidding me?
That's gonna change things. That is gonna swing. If we had the advantage arrow, the advantage arrow has just swung over. Even burn down the house. Burn down the house is going to do nothing but make sure Death and Taxes loses this match.
This is the craziest. That the one of Toxrill,
no matter
exactly what, 7 mana.
Death and Taxes, that burn down the house, dead card. Do 5 damage to everything. That's okay. Toxie's gonna make a whole bunch of slugs.
I gotta send the team here. Yeah,
but just blocks and blocks and blocks. So we're looking at 3 in the air, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on the ground. As long as 4 damage can't get through.
Wait. Oh no! Wait, you should not have attacked with all of the demons, because the swing back is going to be enough.
1 damage to
you should have kept at least 1. No,
when they die, that's 6.
Oh,
he's gonna go to 1.
Oh no! He's got it.
He's gonna go to 1.
Yeah.
But those are all gonna die.
Yeah. Can he gain?
They're gonna do the damage, and Death and Taxes. Oh no,
he's got it.
Game 2.
He got it. Okay. That's
Make
right.
the
That's right. Okay.
slugs. Oh,
Okay.
wow.
Okay. Okay.
Wow.
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 What a crazy ending here. This is wild.
Okay, so I stand corrected. Burn Down the House was in fact the card that won Death and Taxes that game.
Look at this, by the way, Brad. Look at this. The one of Burn Down the House versus the one of Toxrill. Heads up.
Wow, that was. I always forget that Burn Down the House can make those 1/1 devil tokens that when they die, they do 1 damage to any target.
Yeah, that was wild. All right, this is it, folks. For all the peanuts,
is for all the marbles.
Pretty good opener there from Death and Taxes. You probably keep that one.
Yeah, looks pretty good. Ooh, not a bad looking hand for really not a bad looking hand for Noble as well.
This gets the Ludovic.
See a Slogurk hit the bin for Noble.
Yeah. Land for turn. No combat tricks. You might as well just
swing in. So you swing in, see if they have the removal. Thalia. There goes the Thalia.
Okay. Don't worry, you've got 3 more.
Yeah. Oh, that make disappear. I'm almost surprised that Death and Taxes did not have that make disappear already up in spot, ready to counter whatever Noble was going to play. A little bit of an opening here now for Noble.
Sure.
Gets that 4th land.
Nice. Representing effectively all colors.
There's so many good cards that Noble has at 3 and 4 mana.
Right. Also, we have yet to see Noble with the Urtai, which there are 2 of.
Yes.
So that would be a nice hold. Has its own Shield Dread.
But it's gonna die.
After
unless Death gets an untapped land. No, not gonna be able to shoulder it in response. Gonna pitch away the lounge.
Oh, misses and land drops.
Will take care of Ludovic.
Does get to make the treasure though.
Just gonna pass the turn here. Hold up grass.
Watch your life total. Down. Yeah. I mean, land into something like Owl would be.
Ooh, Catilda.
The protection from werewolves shield that you folks are seeing on the screen does nothing. Old Rutstein. There it is. So the other thing that they all share, and why Catilda is also key to this incredible pile of cards, is the fact that Ludovic, Catilda, Thalia, Old Rutstein, Urtai are all humans.
They're all humans.
Which allows Catilda to absolutely go off here.
Allows Catilda to tap them for extra mana.
Tough spot there. Had to choose the Ludovic. The option was either Catilda or there's the one of Burn Down the House, but again, missed the land drop again. Can attack into,
but has the treasure to put out Shouldered.
True.
Has the treasure to put out Shouldered, and Noble outside of the Urtai has very, very little interaction. Right, but swinging in with the token, making that 5th. Making the 2nd treasure basically the 5th land. Burn Down the House is now an option.
Okay, goes there. Might be holding for the eventual Toxrill. That is only a 1 of Burn Down the House, if I recall.
Ooh, okay. Has the Urtai to take care of Shouldered.
Definitely. Have to. That's a no doubter.
Yeah. Boink.
Gets a land, so that of course, Noble won't know this, but that land allows them to resolve Burn Down. Just kidding.
No, not anymore. Thalia's going to make that cost. Put that cost. Well, swinging in with the token is going to give the land is going to give that treasure that they need to resolve Burn Down the House, which we are about to see.
Okay, reset. Let's reset.
And Noble's only got 2 cards in hand now.
Yeah, that's the only thing is.
There's the feign, but Infernal Grasp, kind of able to take care of that.
And there's a land for turn.
Yeah, so Infernal Grasp to take care of Rafane.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no looting whatsoever. Corpse the Praiser to come in to take out something out of the bin. No, going to go with the Harvester.
Yeah, now suddenly that 30 lands is a big number because the likelihood of you pulling one off the top now is extremely high. And
yeah, very high.
This is...
That burn down the house came in at a very unfortunate time.
Yeah, and again, the one of. Is this Urtai number 2 that he's holding, or is this a bluff?
Well, I think we're going to find out.
Okay. Oh. F6, nothing to do there.
Yeah. Oh, and Death and Taxes recognizing there's no response coming from my opponent. Let's get everything on board now.
Yep. It's going to need to be a very good top deck here to be able to answer this because the Atsushi is, again, another...
Noble is going to have to find something here.
Owl is a flyer, but floats the blue. There it is. That's exactly the card we were looking at. But Shieldred is great here. I think you discard nothing.
Shieldred is really good here for Death and Taxes. Not only just because it's a death touch, but because it's going to help Death and Taxes replenish that life. AO is not going to come in, sorry. AO is not going to die that turn. But AO does have Vigilance.
Yeah, well, it's the choice of do you want to...
It's a risk. It's a risk.
You take that. You take that attack. Yeah. Oh, you don't... No way you sacrifice that. Okay.
Gonna sack it.
Yeah. Wow. The ballsiest. I cannot believe this.
Wow.
Unbelievable. Got the removal there.
But the grass can't touch it. And the backup plaza to try and keep AO alive for one more turn.
Unfortunately, I think this might be for Nye, but it's a very
But AO dying does provide value. It definitely provides value.
4 CMC. All right, let's see. Maybe like a Thalia Plus. That could be Thalia Plus Catilda. Only hits Ludovic. Unfortunate.
That's a whiff.
Yeah, that's unfortunate there, particularly because it could have been so many things, including an Urtai.
Death and Taxes down to 5.
Yeah, those pain lands have been those sulfur springs have been taxing him for a lot.
Yeah.
But I can't think of a single card off the top here that's going to save Noble. Too much value coming from Grixis midrange.
Not enough lands. Even if Noble was able to get out something like a Toxrill at this point, the life gain and damage from Shouldred just might be enough to put this one away.
I would have probably started by cycling the Xanders, but again, it may be irrelevant here. Wow. You know what?
Just all 2 lands. There's 2 lands in there. You see that? There's 2 lands.
Yeah, exactly.
And about 20 creatures. Gonna bring Invoke back, and that is it doesn't have the land to do it.
It will soon.
Oh yeah, will can swing in with both tokens.
Yeah.
Make 2 treasures, have enough to
hit that
fire off the Invoke Despair. Even with the block on Shouldred, Noble's looking at taking 7 to the face.
Yeah, plus the
Invoke Despair on top of that, which is going to be an extra 6. We're looking at Death and Taxes.
Oh, good game.
Oh, well, no, Death and Taxes is going to lose anyways, I think, right? Because even with the Plaza making that indestructible.
I think you mean Noble.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, Noble is going to take the damage. They're going to have to sack it no matter which way you slice it. Take 4 damage, go to -1.
Oh.
This was good.
That was fantastic.
That
was some of the best standard play I've seen, I think, ever. That was fantastic.
That was absolutely great. The all-star of that matchup burned down the house.
Yeah.
And, burned down the house. Won game 2 for Death and Taxes.
Now, those were definitely some grindy games, huh? Congrats to our winner, Death and Taxes, for taking down the event with Grixis. I want to give a big shout out to Magic Brad and OhOneNine for great commentary once again. And I want to thank you, the viewer, for making it this far into the video. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, bell notification. Like the video, leave a comment down below, would be greatly appreciated. And don't forget, we host 3 tournaments a month. We've got 2 more for the month of November. And you can find all that information in the description below. And we're already going to have next month's schedule as well out here pretty soon. So definitely be on the lookout for all that. And I hope that you stay cheesy.